Hello and welcome to this week's recap. We've reached week 12, just one more week to go. And with me I have two guests. Who wants to go
Hi.
first?
Hello, and we do it at the same time, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
You go
Start.
first.
Okay, hi. I'm Spartacus from GMan 6D division, coach of the Kingslayer squad.
And I am Rasta from 6C, playing Revenge of Power Up.
Yeah, two very good coaches joining me here today. And others complaining we are not doing it for G-Man 5, but that's not my job. You have someone else to blame for that. So, this week we will be starting with Division 6D. And we just got a match report in, namely Kingslayers tying 1-1 against Team Fantastic.
Yeah,
So,
Well played.
thanks.
what can you tell us about the game?
Well, I was a bit scared before the match start because Jimmy is obviously a good coach and he's got one of a hell of a deadly team. And Underworld can be squishy as hell too.
Yeah, that's
So, but I had a wizard, so I was thinking maybe I could get something from it if Robespierre, my killer guy, could do some work. But well,
well, a draw against Jimmy is certainly not bad. And
yeah, it's for me it's pretty good, but I have a mixed feeling about it because game went from very good after defensive touchdown, turn 8 of Jimmy's turn, Jimmy's drive, sorry,
yeah, no problem.
due to a nice wizard, but then failed 3+ end off to score the second and snowballed to like a brutal brutal ending for my squad. So mixed feeling because I have another dead troll. That's not very good. Regen failed to heal my troll. That's the second time it happens for me this season, and that's rough.
Yeah, I feel you there. Underworld are certainly a team that can break very easily.
Yeah,
And, well, coming this close to a win, that's quite impressive.
yeah.
I know it feels bad if you fail the 3+ to secure the win, basically, and you then get injured a lot and he scores the draw.
Yeah, it feels bad, but I play Underworld a lot, I guess, and I'm used to lose players, so that happens.
Yeah. So let's take a closer look at your team. The troll did get niggled, yes?
Yeah.
So are you planning to keep him around for now, or will you instantly fire him?
Mm, uh, I think since I have only 90k left in the bank, I will try to save my earnings to buy a new one for next season. So this one is out of
Yeah, he's
is
missing next game.
Yeah, so I think I will just fire him.
The positive thing about that is you will probably get matched against like halflings or goblins or something in Greenhorn.
Well, he
Uh,
isn't going to play Greenhorn. If he
Oh, I
plays
meant I
the.
meant Devastational, because the first game is on team value, I think.
oh,
There is a competition between the regular season while the playoffs are going on, where you basically can play a little 4 game tournament where your first game you will get matched against a team of equal team value.
okay.
You don't have to do that, that's optional. So, especially with a squishy team like Underworld, it can often just lead to your team
Yeah,
dying instead of gaining you development.
double sword edge.
Yeah, especially since the second game will match teams who won and doesn't care anymore about team value. So you might as well end up
Yeah,
facing a very high team value team and just get destroyed. So I'm not sure if I would recommend to go to the invitational with this team.
yeah. Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah, who are you facing in the last week?
Some human coach he replaced
Ah,
Cave Dwarf's team, I
I
think.
think it's the Heresy Lifeguard. That should be the one.
Yeah,
Ah,
That's actually one
that's.
of my friends.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he bounced in super late I think he played like 2 games or something.
yeah. That's about it.
Well, it's certainly one of the better opponents to play against the fresh human team.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's also missing 2 blitzers.
yeah. I just see that. But Underworld without a troll can be very hard to play. You have no much not much cover to protect your good pieces.
Well,
So
you do get 6 loner goblins for the next game.
yeah, but they tend to be out of the game real pretty, real
Really fast,
real.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I meant.
So, well, your blitzes are looking pretty nice. And, well, the positioners are looking good, so the core of the team is looking good. You are planning to bring them back next season?
I wanted to, but now, well, I think I will bring them next season. But the loss of the troll will make me think a bit because I was planning to spend my cash on goblins because Underworld are way easier and fun to play with a couple of goblins, and I don't have the chance to have only one of them all this season. And starting uh, another season without any goblin, uh, I don't know about that. You know?
That, that's why you just go for the Devastational and hope for the best.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem with the Devastational is you can't join the Greenhorn with a fresh team if it goes wrong. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And shall we look how Jimmy Fantastic's team is looking now? I think you did cause a few MNGs.
Yeah, games was a bit brutal. Not many body hurts, but permanent injuries and miss next game. I think 2 for him.
Yeah, and well, I'm surprised you didn't lose more players against this team because there's quite a lot of Mighty Block lore and even a block piling on one.
Yeah, this one didn't make a very good job. He failed almost everything he tried.
Yeah, that's certainly helping playing against a team like that when the killer doesn't find any knockdowns.
Yeah. Of course, I had a shot turn 2, made a 2 dice versus him with my killer, but what went only to stun. So
You,
these
you,
guys,
you tried to kill him, but it
yeah,
just
but
wasn't enough.
he stayed on the pitch just to fail a very crucial GFI to score turn 15, reroll into another GFI. So Jimmy went close to lose this game uh, because of him. So not a very good game from him.
Yeah, when you are the star player, the pressure can certainly get to you. So, who did we have next on schedule? Crematorium Crew against Ain't Cold in the North. This one isn't played yet, but I think we all believe the Crematorium Crew will take this one.
Yeah.
I think this might be an admin game.
Uh,
Even.
Ain't Cold in the North is a team that joined on late, so I don't
Okay.
think he dropped. He is still in the league, so they are
Yeah, I was
probably
looking at the
just
last
playing
game.
late. Then next up we have the Flylat Servants drawing 1-1 against Skeletons Incorporated. So I think you played both of those coaches already. What is your impression about Ant-Man and Falmu?
They are both good coach. I was quite impressed of the skill level of coaches in my div, and Ant-Man is played very safe, but throw lots of block at you. He's a very good coach. Palmu, I don't remember my game versus him, but his record claim, he's good too.
Yeah, just because I saw it right now, Buffer Justice is saying in the G-Man chat that his opponent failed to schedule yet, so might be
Okay.
an admin win after all. And, well, shall we take a closer look at Ant-Man's team then? I mean, he is playing early Norgal, so taking a lot of blocks and trying to play it safe is certainly expected.
Yeah.
And, well, it's coming along well. He has a Mighty Blow Claw block Pestigore now, and his Nurgle warriors are looking pretty good. I think he is in a really good position for the next season or even the Devastational.
Yeah, he almost has his killer there as well with the block, Mighty Blow Claw.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see if he will go piling on next or maybe tackle. Because he made an interesting decision with his second Pestigore, who got tackle first.
Yeah, that's not very very common, I think.
Yeah, you would expect the second Pestigore to evolve into a ball carrier of some kind, or at least get block early and not tackle.
Yeah,
If you wanna, he might wanna go the Sacker route with it, and then he should probably go wrestle first.
Wrestle first, yeah.
tackle.
Yeah, that's also true. So tackle was an interesting choice, but I mean, I can't blame Ant-Man. He has been performing very well. A record of 5-4-3 is really decent for Nurgle.
Yeah,
And
that's for sure.
Yeah, so now his opponent was Palmu and his Skelepans Incorporated. So, what? He of course has an agility 3 Blitzer with sure hands. Not
Just
something you see too often.
disgusting.
I think that's like the thing with Camry. If you roll agility, just that's your ball carry now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious to see that he didn't decide to get one thrower at least as a backup, because this way, basically, if this Blissthra gets knocked out or even out of position, you have nobody to retrieve the ball.
Yeah, I think he had one earlier in the season, but maybe he was killed or retired.
Yeah, this could very well be true, and this way is certainly the more team value efficient way, and you don't have to protect the thrower. So I can also see the reason why.
Yep.
He went for Mighty Blow first on all of his Tomb Guardians. Uh, I do like to get at least one Tomb Guardian earlier on, but that's mostly personal preference.
I think one of the Tomb Guardians should go break tackle as the first skill.
Yeah, well, I like to have some guard too, but
Yeah,
we didn't have like wood elves to fuck up your cage in our div, so maybe that's why we choose to get mighty blow for the three of them.
Yeah, it's certainly a bash heavy division, and then you don't really need break tackle as much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decent looking team, nothing too amazing, but also in a pretty decent position for the next season.
Yeah.
And that's what most of the coaches here are playing for now, because Buffer T Justice just ran away with it.
yeah.
So, wait, we could take a closer look on the actual game itself. Armor breaks were pretty even. Ball possession also pretty even. Blocks even. Looks like a pretty even game overall. The dice locks. Well, Flighted Servant had decent dice. Yeah, Flighted Servant had a little bit better dice than the Skelepans, but it looks like an even game overall, and I think the 1-1 draw from the statistics is an expected result.
Yeah.
It's just always hard to go from the statistics because all those ones might come in exactly the wrong moment.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, and ain't your own armor rolls included in that as well?
Yeah,
Which means some ones are actually good.
yeah. The moment for the ones is the most important thing there, but it can give you a rough estimate of how the game went with the dice. If you see there's a lot more sixes than ones, then usually you could say they had decent dice.
Yeah.
Now, on to the next game. The Harrison Lifeguard lost 0-2 to the Victims of the Sun. Now, you mentioned the Heresy Lifeguard is a friend of yours, Rodster.
Yes, that is correct.
Let's start with them. And it looks like we like Guard over here. From the two skills we have leveled so far.
Yeah, I mean he's I think has he played 3 games or 2 now?
I
Two.
think it's 2 now.
Yeah, and he got beaten up in both those games because he played up like 400,000 team values first game or something.
Yeah, it's certainly not fun. I'm a bit surprised he didn't get any SPP because the other joiners who late joiners who've joined in week 6, week 7 both got at least some games worth of SPP, while this team went in completely fresh. But I'm assuming he will reroll into a new team next season anyway.
Yeah, well, or you can get some SPPs via next game
Versus you.
bashing my gobos, you know.
I wonder if this team would be eligible for starting in a fresh division next season. Because, I mean, it's only played 3 games, so that would be about the same amount as the Greenhorn games.
Yeah,
Maybe, but
but I think he might as well re-roll and go for a new Greenhorn for
yeah,
fresh games.
because it didn't go exactly well for him so far. Well, other than that, I think there's not too much to say about the human team. It's a human team.
Yeah, with no skills.
Yeah, pretty standard build, so. And he lost against the victims of the sun, Cyber Knight, again picking up a win with his speed up Bretonians, who are now actually looking not that bad anymore.
Yeah, well,
He finally has a full squad of positioners.
I'm quite surprised of how he managed to stay alive and have a very decent record after all, because he got beat up like a lot this season.
Yeah, he lost quite a few blitzes over the course of the season. I think you played him not too long ago, and it didn't go great for you. Am I remembering this correctly?
No, I think it was one of my win.
Yeah, that
Uh,
could very well be. We have the history. Let's look it up.
yep.
Let's see. Oh,
Yeah.
it was a little bit ago. Oh, it was actually your third game, and you got the 1-0 win. So
Yeah.
then I just confused the game there.
But he was already beat up as me. This was a beat up team game.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not an amazing looking Bretonian team, but it's okay. I'm a little bit surprised to say that, but I might even see Cyber Knight carrying on with this team. Still, there's not really amazing development, but he's not too far behind the rest of the division now.
Yeah, well, he have one double of on Ibiza. That's quite nice, and the fourth strength blocker is nice too. So it's decent.
Yeah, and as you said already, I'm really impressed with his performance this season, despite of getting beat up, because his overall record with 5-1-6 is pretty good considering that he got beat up a lot.
Yes, but Cyber Knight have pretty good records on CCL. So I'm he is certainly a good coach.
Yeah, he is definitely a good coach, but since you mentioned CCL, CCL often goes that way. If the first games go bad, you just reroll into a new team. While he here was in a completely different situation where the first game went bad and he had to move on from there. So the CCL might not be the best indicator here, but Cyber Knight is certainly showing that he is a really
I
good coach.
I would say that if you have like a 15-1-1 record in CCL, you're a good coach because you
Yeah,
won't do that as a bad coach, even if you re-roll 20 times.
yeah, I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to say that it's a very different situation to be in from being a team that's constantly winning and picking up development to a team that's lost a lot of development early on and will play from behind every single game.
Yeah, that's true.
True. Yeah.
So, let's take a closer look at the match report here. Even armor breaks on both sides. Of course, Alona took the MVP on the Victims of the Sun side. We don't want to get them too many development, too many SPP.
That's the story of my season.
Yeah.
Loner Goblins stole like 3 or 4 times MVPs.
Yeah, that's really annoying. Ball position is pretty much in favor of Victims of the Sun. He has also quite a few more blocks, but he had a little less luck with the injuries. He got one less injury. Yeah, so well done, Cyber Knight. Now,
Yes.
what game's next on the table? Hollywood Martial Law against the 187s will be played later tonight. I tried to talk Falkenberg into joining us for the recap, but he said he had to play his game. Always those excuses. Well, quick look at their team while we're at it. Hollywood Martial Law, the Kislev team that's losing a lineman at least every game.
Yeah, we have that in common too. But this team, yeah, he had some brutal game, and he's losing way too much lineman this season too. He's not lucky with that.
Yeah, but he should definitely keep on going with this team because he has two nice looking blitzers. One is really close to level 4, and the other is not too far from level 3. He has a catcher with guard, and of course the agility 5 lineman, which alone can win you games.
He needs to pick pass block with that guy.
Obviously.
Russell
No,
too.
but very long legs. I think he does the interception on like a 2+ with that. And he ignores safe throw.
Well, the question is, how many teams will really try to pass against you? And how many teams will risk it when the agility 5 piece is around anyway?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But for the meme, when he does that one interception, you can laugh all the way to the bank.
I
Yeah.
don't know what Falkenberg plan to do with this team in terms of next buy, blitzer or catcher.
You usually want to get the blitzers first before the catchers, just because the blitzer is strength 3 and he already has the agility 5 lineman. So I wouldn't risk getting another strength 2 armor value 7 piece.
No, he needs to get 2 blitzers for his money. And then fill out with linemen so as a full team, and then get another catcher maybe.
Well, first of all, he has to keep his team alive.
Yeah.
Because if you lose your blitzers, you will never get 4 blitzers.
That's for sure.
Then a quick look at the 187s, coached by Mundingo. They have, of course, Flash Dancer, the nerfs of Steel Ghoul. Sadly, the piling on zombie is not around anymore. I thought he was pretty amazing.
Yeah. For this click.
Did he have a piling on zombie, did you say?
Yeah, he had a piling on zombie because Mundingo put his votes, his levels to public vote in a small group of his friends or something. So that's what you get when you put skills to a vote.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I thought he misclicked on guard and took piling on instead, but apparently he's not.
Yeah, I think he stopped putting his level ups to public votes because of the first few.
Yeah.
I mean, the one big problem this team has is that the development he has is not really on the pieces you want it to be on. You want to have leveled flesh golems, you want to have leveled werewolves, and he has leveled zombies, and
Yeah, Flash Dancer is hogging SPPs a bit too much.
yeah, I mean, it's certainly not bad to have a blodge step ghoul, but you do want to spread the SPP a bit more. You want to level the white. You definitely want to feed the second werewolf another touchdown. Is
Yes.
I mean, it's an okay team. It's not an amazing team. I can certainly see him keep on going with this team, but I mean, there's nothing crazy about this team which we would say, yeah, that's a great player or that's a great team.
I think he probably lost some werewolf and stuff, because I can't see how he can have, after 13 games, have a werewolf with only 3 SPP.
That might be true that he lost one werewolf.
If I
And, and
recall,
and I would guess the other goal there is also a new one,
Well,
the 0 SPP one.
I think he started with only one white, something like that. Let me see. We do
yeah,
have the
that's true. That's
technology.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
We do have the technology with the Blood Bowl League Manager to have a look at the team's graveyard. So let me just do that real quick. The 187's previous players. So he had a ghoul die. And well, there are quite a few zombies. There is a werewolf. There are 2 werewolves actually. So, man, this list of lost players is long. That might be the reason why this team is looking so underdeveloped on the positionals.
Yeah.
I think he starts his season with not very with a particular build. He had only one white, I think, and 2 reroll. So maybe he spent his cash on whites and reroll, but he had his second white very late in the season, so that's why he don't have many SPPs on them, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's true as well. He really didn't start with a very good starting build, but I mean, he ended up doing pretty well overall. Well, 3-3-5. It's not amazing, but it's right there in the middle of the field. And yeah, I mean, could be worse.
Yep.
So now let's take a look at the schedule. Next up we have Clawtimer Rams drawing against the Bash Buddies. And the Bash Buddies are... oops, I pressed the wrong button. Let's get right back into Division 6D, because the Bash Buddies are the second necromantic team. And this team is looking quite a lot better in comparison. And I know I have been saying this for the last few recaps as well, but if you have the direct comparison, why not use it? Because here we have a werewolf with Mighty Blow and Block, we have a Blodge Tackler werewolf, we have a Block Guard Flesh Golem.
That's something.
Yeah, this team is looking much better than the other team. And I think Berserk is also currently sitting in second place. So you would expect him to have a decent looking team. And he has been doing well for himself after having quite a bit of a rough start.
Yeah, I think he had some rough game at the very start, but he managed to um, to get a lot of wins after that.
Yeah, I mean, Manu Sartre is pointing out that he doesn't like the way to go with the white. I can see why you would like to have another Mighty Blow white, for example, just to take blitzes where you can't use the werewolf because you otherwise would frenzy trap yourself. But as a support player, it's still a decent build.
Yeah, well, I like it. I think when you want to set up quad push, stand firm is a must, and maybe he wants to let his flash golem in the middle of the field and use his white to assist near sidelines.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
still.
think so too. That he actually won a sideline with his team and crowd surf a lot, and that's why he picked that stun firm.
Okay, that might very well be a reason, but I'm still not. I'm still not favoring the idea of the stand firm here, because stand firm gets much more useful when it's on a strength 4 player, for example, instead of strength 3. In general, I'm not a big fan of strength 3 stand firm players.
I agree.
Yeah, well, it's a bit early for it. Yeah.
And he
Uh,
also has a really decent white there with agility 4 in the making. He could get even better soon when he gets block and maybe sidestep. So this is a really, I think overall it's a really good looking Necro team.
yes.
And he drew against Clotimer Rams, that's Hut's team, and he has been the guy who has been running with a lot of beasts and a Minotaur.
Lots of agility too.
No, beasts are agility 3. Do
Uh,
you mean with a lot of extra agility? Now I get what you mean.
yeah.
Sorry there. He has an agility 5 beastman, and I think he might made the right skill choice afterwards with getting wrestle. You want to have him as the main sacker, and you don't really need to go for leap or anything like that first.
You need a double for the leap anyway, so
Yeah, that's true. And, well, he has a few nice looking beastmen. The Minotaur is currently MNG, I believe. Let's have a quick look. Yes, it's only MNG. But, I mean, I didn't expect a pure beastman team to go this far. But Hut has certainly been pulling off wins. And I think he's currently sitting in third or fourth place. I think 2 weeks ago he was still the only one who could stop Buffer Justice, but the last 2 games didn't go too great for him. I think he lost 2 games over the last 3 weeks. So
Yeah, well, I was a bit skeptical of about his non-warrior team, but he proved me wrong, I guess, and he has now a very good record with his team. I was a bit surprised too about the way he's using his Minotaur.
oh,
I
I never actually seen him use it. So how is he using it?
I I thought he was going to blitz every turn with him, but that's not the way he uses it. He's very cautious with him and blitz the most of the time with his killer beastman. So I like it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's usually how Chaos plays around the Minotaur if they have it. They want to use it early on in the first few games to do the blitzes, but as soon as you get a better killer who can actually do the damage more reliable, you tend to switch to use him for the blitzes. And a normal Chaos team usually then fires the Minotaur because he is a lot of team value, which you don't get too much use out of if you're not blitzing with him. And you don't need to rely on him because you do have 4 Chaos Warriors available. But of course, in a team like this, you don't have those Chaos Warriors, and another Strength 5 player helps you out a lot.
But you have strength 4 on all your beastmen when you blitz, though.
Yes, but still, it's good to have a high strength player around because even on the blitz with strength 4, it can be tough to find a knockdown on strength 4 players like Nurgle warriors or or Sauruses who have a little bit support.
And Tomb Guardian.
Yeah, Tomb Guardian as well. So it's really good to have him available if you're going for only Beastmen.
I think if you go this build, as soon as you get a bit more development, you should fire the Mino.
Well, I can agree with it if you get a strength up on one of your Beastmen. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When you have your Claw Mighty Blow piling on beast or 2, and you have your
and
you get that strength in time, you know.
he will need some guard too.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely need some guard on this team.
Yeah, strength 3 without guard usually isn't going too well. And I think that's also showing a little bit in his last games. Because now that all the other teams got more development, it's going not as good for him. But I mean, Hud is a great coach. It will be interesting where he takes this team. Manus, I don't think he will be spending money on Chaos Warriors because I think he will just goes with only Horns players. And Chaos Warriors don't start with Horns.
First big horns.
I mean, I would. I would count it as a. He needs to convince other Chaos players to sell their Horns Chaos Warriors to the market and then buy them from the market. So they start with Horns technically.
I think he will keep the Milo because he didn't choose Claw first on his killer beastman. So to me, he will keep the Milo for the Mighty Blow Claw thing.
Yeah, as I said, I think you also need to wait until you get one strength 4 player because you do want to have high strength Minotaur available.
Yeah.
I have no idea if there are probably no Horns warriors, but that's why I said he needs to convince other coaches to pick Horns and then sell it to the market. Yeah, well, it's an interesting Chaos team, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's take a closer look at the statistics. I know that probably won't say as much again. The armor breaks are pretty even. Ball possession is actually much in the favor of the Claw-Timor Rams. Blocks are pretty even. Removals look pretty even as well. Yeah, just one more for the Bash Buddies. And yeah, dice rolls also looking pretty even. Looks like it's been a pretty even game overall. It's hard to speak from only the statistics.
Yeah, that's true.
But as you say, 1-1, they have done exactly the same SPP, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 good coaches facing up with both having decent to good teams. If the luck is equal, you often see them going to a draw. Now, the last game from this division is Asili of Blades losing 0-1 against Imperishable 4. And, well, I think the result was expected, but let's have a look at the teams. Do you want to start with the Imperishable 4 or do we want to talk about the City of Blades?
Celia Blades.
Okay. The Dark Elf team that started out with a 4-0 win and then it all went downhill from there, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he has 4 bits now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not a bad team. Lots of blodge, lot of block, lot of dodge. I mean, it's something, but it's certainly missing the Agility 5 elf, for example, or a good Witch elf, or even a Mighty Blow player.
Yeah.
3 rerolls.
I mean, Dark elves can go with only 2, and I think he even started with only 1.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, but look at his team now.
yeah, I mean, he also said he is a new player. Cat, stop attacking me.
Well, now I think he said that he don't use agility teams often. He's more like a knock coach or this kind of teams. So this is the first time he goes to agility team in a league. So
Yeah, they can be hard to play if you're not used to it. I mean,
yeah,
he also said, I believe, he will be re-rolling and trying his chances at a new team. And I can understand why. On this team, there's certainly nothing what you would say, I want to keep that around. I have to play this team because I have such a great player or because I have lots of development. And
If you want to play a Dark Elf team, I see no problem with continuing with this team, to be honest.
yeah, I mean,
I would just buy the 3rd reroll and then do my passes every turn to get my SPP. I will lose my 4 devastational games, but from that, his armor 8 and blodge in his players and can easily build this team up.
yeah, that's definitely true. You definitely can keep this team, but if he's saying he is not liking the playstyle of the Dark Elves, he's nothing there you would say, I have to keep this around.
No.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, the last team, the Imperishable 4. Another Cambry team who has also been doing pretty well. And this time we don't have an Agility 3 player, instead we have 2 Throras. So, I mean, the one big question about this team is, do you keep the armor value 7 Blitzroar around?
He has the money to replace him right now, but he has no other tackle. I think he's waiting to level his other Blitzra to get the tackle, then he might rotate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might as well be waiting for the last game and then try to rebuild in the Devastational. He has a lot of Mighty Blow. His 3rd Tomb Guardian finally leveled. And it's looking like a decent Camry team.
He can also fire the 7 heavy Blitzra, buy a new one, and try to score with him the final game of the season, and maybe still MVP 2.
Yeah.
To have a nice Blitzra for next season.
Yeah, I think he definitely has the money, and he definitely should be looking at replacing the Blitzerer. But let's see, who is he facing next week? Because if he's facing the Dark Elves, for example, you wouldn't want to get rid of your only tackle.
Yeah.
he is facing Ain't Cold in the North, so against the North, I think he could afford to get a new Blitzer.
Yeah, just block with him every turn. I mean, it's AV7.
Yeah, there's a good chance that the North will break if you punch them. The hard part is punching them reliably, if it's a good North coach. But I mean, if Ain't Cold in the
Before,
North not around anymore, then it might be just a bye week.
yeah, before the said in Discord that North aren't around anymore, so
Oh, did
uh,
they answer before T-Justice there? Let's see. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's just Buffer T-Justice making assumptions there, but I mean, if he's not around anymore, well, then you might as well fire the Blitzer and hope for a good bye week.
yeah.
But I definitely would be replacing the Blitzer. And, well, if we take a quick look at the statistics, 3 armor breaks to 14 on the Camry's tide, that's pretty one-sided. 58 blocks to 33 blocks, a lot more removals for the Camry, a lot more ball possession for the Camry. It looks like a pretty one-sided game.
Yes, it is.
75% ball possession with Camry, that is a lot.
Ooh, and he rolled 16 ones out of, like, how many? Out of 40 dice rolls? That's a lot, but I think you roll all those ones on his armor breaks, which is good for you if you roll ones on your own armor breaks. Because he didn't roll many other dice. And yeah, I think we covered every team. Shall we make a quick round of predictions for the last week?
Okay.
Now we have the Heresy Lifeguard against the Kingslayers. Who do we think will win?
Yeah, so obviously I need to vote for the Heresy Lifeguard as it's my friend playing that.
Yeah, well, I will be rooting for my Kingslayers.
Yeah, understandable. And I think the Kingslayers will have the favor here with their quite nice looking blitzers who could have quite a fun time.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, there is a
that's
chance for the humans.
that's hard to guess because just two blitzers on the human team and no troll on the underworld team, so this could go one or the other way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if the human finds his way to remove a few goblins and maybe a key blitzer or something, he could be in a very good position. But I would still favor the Kingslayers here. Then, Hollywood Martial Law against the Flylord Servants. Who do we think will win here?
I give that to Ant-Man.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I think as usual, the Hollywood Martial Law will lose a few linemen and score, but he will lose the game. Or maybe he can draw it. I mean, they certainly have the potential to steal the ball off the Pestigores. But
Yeah, but I think as he's missing so much block and a lot of loners, he won't be able to take that duration of bashing Norse. I mean bashing Nurgle.
hey, he doesn't need to bash Nurgle, he just needs to get the ball on the ground. Because there is no real ball carrier for the Nurgle.
That is
Yeah,
true.
well, the beast can be game changing if she's positioned well, like near the ball carrier.
That's true. I'm just trying to point out there's definitely a good chance for Falkenberg here to at least get the draw.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
And then we have a very interesting game up next. Clawtimer Rams against the Crematorium Crew. I think we probably are all going with Buffer T Justice here.
Yeah, I would say if Clotimo Rams would have had his
Minotaur.
Minotaur. Maybe I could have give it to Hud, but right now I think his team is too weak.
Yeah, I mean the Minotaur would really be useful against the mummies, for example, where
Yeah,
the Beastman will just have a hard time to do anything against. And
Yep.
yeah, I think we make the easy choice here and go with the Crematorium crew. Then Oscilliev plays against Team Fantastic. Now, Team Fantastic has very little tackle, while the Dark Elves have a lot of dodge.
but the Dark Elf also has a whole bunch of loners.
Well, Elf Loners are decent. It's not the
But
worst matchup. I mean, I would probably favor Team Fantastic.
Yeah, well, he will have to face again a wizard, I think. So
Yeah, Dark Elves with a wizard are certainly scary.
yeah,
are you sure about that? Because he's, I mean, he's 8 players, so that's 3 extra.
oh,
He would
So
be
to
around
add 210.
1,200. Okay, the wizard it might be a bit too far.
Yeah, I mean, unless he spends his purse.
Well,
for-
does Jimmy get extra? No, he doesn't. So yeah, I mean, I guess if Jimmy finds the early removals, he will have this pretty much in the bag. But if he can find knockdowns, I could very well see the Sylviev Blades steal a few points away.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's a lot of blood, as you said, and
I think
not a
it
lot of
will
tackle.
it will be a draw here.
I probably still go with Jimmy, just because he has a lot more experience than the coach of Auxilia Blades, but as I said, there is definitely the upset chance. Then we have Imperishable 4 against Ain't Cold in the North, which most likely will be a bye week, but I think I would give it to the Imperishable 4 anyway.
Yes,
Yeah,
same for me.
Then we have the Bash Buddies against Skelepans Incorporated. That's another good one.
Bash buddies.
Yeah, I would say Bash Buddies as well, but I think that's gonna be a really good game because both those coaches are kind of good, or they know how to play Blood Bowl well.
I'm actually gonna go with the draw here. I think if the Cambry manage to pick up the ball on their drive, they should have a decent shot here because their team is looking pretty good. And Necro can have a hard time against high strength. So I'm not convinced Bash Buddies will take the win here, but we will see. And for the last game, we have the 187s against the Victims of the Sun.
Victim of the Sun.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Cyber Knight as well.
Yeah, he finally has a team again. Think he has been playing really well. Now that he has an actual team, he should be playing even better. And the 187s don't have the greatest team to hold against it, so yeah. I think there's a good chance for the Victims of the Sun.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Then another quick look at the leaderboard shows us Bufferty Justice far away on the top. But the race for the second place is still very much on between quite a lot of players here. Think all second place till fifth place all have a shot at the second place. There's
Yeah,
Berserk
the
has
Cambry,
a 1 point lead on Hud and Jimmy, and 2 points on Fernlow. So in theory, they could all still get up there into second place.
What's interesting as well is that Ant-Man and Palmo could also be at like third place if everything goes for them.
That's, I think, yeah, that they do have. They are only one. That it's really close behind Buffer T Justice. Let's just boot him from the league and have a interesting last week. No, of course we won't. He has been performing well and he deserves the playoff spot. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the last question for our guest here. I mean, 10th place is probably not the best place to be in.
Yeah.
And you were probably hoping to have a little bit better season at least.
Yeah, I was hoping for over a better record, but I start this season with a concede due to hardware problem.
Oh, that's never a
yeah.
good way to start.
This and well, I faced lots of good coaches too, so that's not all about dice and all. I am here because there was lots of bashy teams, 3 undead teams. That's something to face when you are fresh on the world.
Yeah,
So
you have certainly been holding up better than I would with Underworld, because my experience with Underworld is you start a team and then you lose a bunch of players in the first few games and then you delete the team.
yeah, well, I think I will keep them next season and see how it goes.
I will definitely be rooting for you.
Yeah, thanks.
And I think that's it for Division 6D. And I also believe you told me you need to get going.
Yeah, I have to go.
Okay, then thank you very much for joining us. It
Thank you
was
too.
very interesting to see your perspective and insights on the division. And good luck with your last game.
Thank you, and just to tell, thanks a lot, Indus, and all you guys to do these recaps every week. It's some very good work.
Thank you very much. And
Thanks.
have a nice day.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
So,
Should we take a 2-minute break first?
If you need a quick break, I'm happy to take a quick break.
Yeah, let's take 2 minutes. I need to grab a drink.
Oh, that's fine. I think I will let the video running. I think they can just skip through. Maybe I'll just put a bookmark in when Division 6C starts. Easier for me. Just go with the easy solution. Ooh. And well, while we're waiting, and to the few players who are watching, thank you very much for joining us. Manu Sartre, thanks for new insights. Alder has also been pretty chatty about it. And well, maybe I could do something for Division 5 again. Maybe. I can't promise anything. I also have real life stuff to do sometimes. Can't spend all your time with Blood Bowl. So, yeah, well, my cat wants back inside after she tried to attack me to get outside, because that's what cats do. Cats are assholes. Yeah, Division 6C. Division 6C is a very interesting one. Because they do have their little Swiss tournament at the end. And they always play their games early. They never make it easy for the poor recapper, because they always play, hey, can we play Tuesday? Can we play Wednesday afternoon?
And I'm back.
Ah, welcome.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I've just been complaining a little about you guys always playing early, and
We're eager to play, that's why.
Welcome, Pirate TJ. It's fine. I mean, then people come and ask you to cast their games, and then some people don't show up or show up early while you're still have food in the oven and say, yeah, we are starting now. But that happens. Uh, it's been an enjoyable time casting the recaps for 6C, so.
Yeah, I think one of the most even top. I mean, this goes down to the last game who actually takes the win here.
And are the Gobble bonus still in contention for the Stunty Cup? Probably not. I'm not sure. I would need. Actually, I think if we go to Rebbl.net, we should be able to see the league table. Let's see.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it now. He's on 4th place. I don't think he has a chance.
The resource you're looking for has been. Okay, there.
To be fair, if he wins his last game, he might actually. Because it's like average points.
Yeah, I think he can get to 1.3. Well, if Ravenpool loses.
Yeah, exactly. Ravenpool needs to lose and he can win. And then he actually might have a chance there.
That would involve maths now to figure that one out. we are not going too deep into that. And blaming Keji is always a good idea. I can definitely live with blaming Keji. So, shall we start the part for the Division 6C? Ratza?
Well, sorry?
Would just start the part for Division 6C if you're ready. But if you need another minute, then...
No. I thought we can already started. But yeah.
Okay. Well, and the first game here is Prof. Paratesia's Pets winning 2-1 against the Highland Avengers, taking McNaughton, or as he's sometimes known, McNugget, out of the playoff race.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game, so I don't really know what happened.
Well, let's take a look at the statistics here. We have 16 armor breaks to 12 armor breaks. Ball possession is pretty even. Blocks 48 to 49. Injuries go a little bit in the favor of Kichi, but other than that, it looks like an even game where Kichi just got one more score in.
Yeah.
I probably.
To be fair, 3 injuries versus 1 is that's a difference. As I know, Highland Avengers didn't really have a bench for the match.
Yeah, that's true. There can be a big difference, but it also depends on when the injuries happen. Because if they happen turn 15, then it's not as big as an issue as if it's the turn 1 injury. That's always the problem with those statistics. It's just numbers and no context. Yeah. Well, it was certainly a big win for Keiji, who put himself in a position to go to playoffs. And the only one who can stop him now is Radsta himself.
Yes.
But first, let us take a look at Kechi's team, because he has a little bit better looking team than the other 2 Necro teams.
Yeah, his teams look fantastic. I mean, he has all the skills where I want them. I'm missing a dirty player on the team.
No, that's true. Maybe he just died. That can happen to zombies.
Definitely.
But I also like giving them block first, just to make them even more annoying for the opponent.
Yeah, but then if you're gonna take a dirty player, then you have 80k dirty player.
Yeah, I mean, not taking dirty player as a first skill, but I like getting 1 or 2 block zombies first and then get your dirty player on the next zombie. Just so you have basically a nearly full block lineup. Well, 8-player block lineup, that's still pretty decent. I mean, he has this one wolf which really should die at some point,
Yeah, that wolf needs to get fouled to death.
and sadly, Kichirus has been keeping him pretty far back, so he doesn't want to risk him, which is understandable, but also boring. You have such a great wolf, and then you're not using him. But
Yeah,
it's the smart way to play. Let's say it like that. You don't want to keep the wolf safe.
But the thing is, KG won all his like first games, and then I think he got this piling on there, and then he started losing. I think it might have been because of playing too
Yeah, I think
passive with
it
the
was
wolves.
also the time where he fired his block tackle werewolf, Mongoose,
Yeah,
and I think then he tried to level the new one, which then backfired because it's a fresh werewolf who can get taken down easily and knocked out. And he made a greedy decision and it backfired. Let's see if he can make it to the playoffs anyway through decent play, good play in the remainder of the games. But, I mean, to be honest, if he doesn't get to playoffs here, I think he has mostly himself to blame. Which it might sound harsh because in this very competitive division, getting to second place is impressive. But Keiichi had a really great team from the start, and he then decided to go greedy, and it got punished. And
yeah. I think actually I played my first game against him, and he had 1400 team value while I came in at 1000. And I think he had this mighty blow and a block werewolf at that game, and maybe like a block on a flash golem or something.
yeah, it's just not fair. So congratulations on the wins, but the grade got punished a little, and that's why you might not make playoffs, which is also not too bad for fresh teams, because they usually tend to just get beaten up at playoffs, most of them. Of course, there is one or two like what's he called, random guy 900 something. I think you all know him, and
Random vampire.
you can definitely have a good run, but most of the fresh teams don't get far, and some of them even lose good players. So from a team survivability point of view, it's not the worst thing to not get to playoffs. But definitely you want to get there, because this might even be your only chance to get there. Who knows how the next season will go.
Yeah.
And
thing is, his team, I mean, he can't really level it up anymore. Feels like, yeah, he can get a little bit higher on his team value. He can get some piling on and stuff, but he reached like the peak where the Necro is as its best, I think, already.
That's true. They certainly, I mean, he could use 2 guards, for example, on the flash columns just to make them really great, but
definitely
you do have a point. He is close to the peak, and the only thing that could help him get any higher are the stat ups. He's currently missing all of them.
Yeah.
Strength 4 werewolf, for example, could be amazing, or just a strength 4 white. Even agility 4 ghoul helps you out a lot, so
yeah.
There is still way up, but it's not much if you don't get the right level ups. Well, and then let's have a look at his opponent, the Highland Avengers. And another thing Keiichi wanted me to point out, because the first time he played against McNaughton, he managed to kill one of the Chaos Dwarfs. And this Chaos Dwarf, I think it's the Rocket Highland Cow.
I think Captain Scotland is the first one.
Oh, Captain Scotland might as well be the first one. But this zombie then killed another one of the Chaos Dwarfs. basically he wanted to have an old teammate around in his new team. And I think this might have been an inside job. I think that was the plan for McNaughton all along, because he knew he couldn't kill Fluffy Bunny and was forced to reroll. So the only way he could make his players live on was getting them killed by Keiji.
Yeah, that's a good plan, I think. Solid one.
But now let's get to his actual team. And the questionable block Mighty Blow piling on Bull Centaur.
Yeah. The Black Orc Bull Centaur.
Yeah, Black Orc.
Yeah, but that's what you gotta use it as. Like stand on the line and pile
Yeah, but
on.
still you usually don't have piling on a Black Orc.
I know.
More like Blitzer, I guess. Strength up Blitzer.
Yeah, but he has agility too, so he can't dodge or anything with it.
That's true. It's an interesting build there, and I think it's very well one of the reasons for it is that it's only one more game, or 2 more games when he got the level, and he knew he was going to reroll, and he was just looking to get more damage. But even the Mighty Blow as a second skill is a very questionable choice. Most of the coaches prefer Break Tackle just to have a mobile piece, because you really can get tied down easily as chores.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly the reason to get that break tackle early, so you have the mobility, and you kind of need it with at least one of the Vulcan towers, so you have like one that you can do it with. The other one, it might not need it as quickly.
That's true. But I mean, he has quite some nice blockers. But other than that, it's already not the greatest Chorf team. But he has been picking up a lot of wins for his first season. He came close to the playoffs.
Yeah, if he would have won that against KJ last game, that would have been he would have been in competition for the playoffs as well.
Well, close, but not far enough. Then, next up, we had the Gobble bonus taking a draw against Back to Square One, really spitting into the soup of Pyro TJ.
Yeah, that ruined his playoff chance.
Well, he still had a playoff chance there if he won against Keiji, but that lies in week 13, and we won't dive too much into that.
Yeah.
Well, let's
But
take.
if he would have won this game, he would have been in the playoffs, I think, regardless, right?
I think you know the league table better than me with the Swiss tournament, so he was definitely in a great position before the game against the Gobble bonus. And talking about the Gobble bonus, let's take a look at their team. I mean, I think nothing changed from last time. It's a Goblin team. They do have a blocked roll, which is pretty good.
I think they have a new Lunu. It died twice.
Yeah, I mean, they are cheap.
Yeah, they cost the same as a normal Goblin, so.
Fnatic with Mighty Blow is okay, but not amazing. The agility for Goblin really helps.
Something I think is amazing on a Fnatic is Grab. Works so nice together with the Fnatic ball and chain.
Yeah, but just to have the extra removal chance, I also like Mighty Blow.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a Goblin coach. I mean, it's a Goblin team. Goblin teams are often hard to talk about because they have a lot of Goblins, but not too much more.
No. He has that always fall over at the touchdown line Goblin at least. The agility 4-1.
Yeah, they as you said, he helps a lot. And yeah, I mean, Tosca has been doing fairly well with his goblins. As we said earlier, he is up there in the Stunty Cup, not at the top, but close to the top, which is respectable.
Yeah, and imagine if I would have won against him instead of passing. I would actually already won the league.
Well, yeah, you lost there, I believe. You did lose against the Goblet Bonus, didn't you? Or was it
Yes.
a draw? Yeah, if you made the pass, if you didn't make the pass, I think you still would have had. I'm not sure. It's been a long time. Welcome,
Yeah.
Organized Crisis. Lucky you, we haven't got to you yet, so you will be seeing it live. But first, we have the Juans. And you might see there are quite a few players MNG'd after their 13 games. It was a rough one for the Wood Elves, but they came close. They came close to at least getting the draw.
Yeah, they could have had a draw if he would have stalled one more turn, as we were watching the game there.
Well, it's hard to make this assumption because,
Yeah.
but it's still worth pointing out. But as I said, we don't want to get too far into that. The important thing here is both the catcher and the Dreaman are only MNG and not niggled.
Yeah, this team still looks super good.
So
They leveled
you
up the
want
War
us
Dancer.
to keep on talking about how you only got a draw against the goblins. That's what you're saying, Pyro Teacher, yes? I think I understand you right there. He still has a very nice looking team. He has now another War Dancer. If you want, you can tell us what you rolled for the level up. He also has a movement 9 Mighty Blow Strip Ball Sidestep War Dancer, which is a great piece. Agility 5 Catcher is also great. And even 2 linemen. One of them has Blotch, the other one has Block.
Yeah, what would you get with this team? Catcher or a thrower? Lineman?
He has 140k. Getting another catcher is always a little bit. He's only strength 2, so he's an easy target. To be honest, I probably would just save up here and not get anything right now.
But doesn't the expensive mistake roll start to come in and stuff?
I think not at 1,100 team value, but
All right, that's on tabletop.
yeah, tabletop has it differently. So the War Dancer rolled a normal. So what would you get on War Dancer on a normal here? Who has tackle?
Sidestep, strip ball. Frenzy.
Frenzy's an interesting one. I probably like.
I mean, you can sidestep is always nice.
Sidestep. I think sidestep is better than strip ball right here because you already have a strip ball.
Yeah, but you want the tackle and the strip ball on the same player, kind of.
That's true, but I think the sidestep is more important just to help him keep him alive, avoid serves, because if you try to bust sideline cages, you can often end up getting yourself served, and sidestep helps there a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
And as Pyro Teacher is pointing out, he likes to keep at least 120k in the bank to replace a War Dancer if needed. And I think I agree with that decision. So I wouldn't get anything here.
Might be right. I would probably get a thrower.
So, Pyro TJ, I'm assuming you will be bringing back the Juans for another season. Are you planning to go into the Invitational? I think at least one game would be nice to get the 3-man and the catcher back, but it's risking losing the catcher and the War Dancer. I casted that game, Pyro TJ. It was great. I always like when stuff dies.
To be fair, I think with Wood Elves and Armor 7 team, why not? I mean, yeah, you risk your players die, but you risk that every game you play with Wood Elves.
Yeah, it's true, but as I said, I like playing the first game where you get matched against team value, so you are sure you won't face a crazy killer team,
Yeah,
which helps you get your 2 MNGs back, and you might even get development out of it. So I think I would like to, if I was the Wolves here, I would like to play the first game. I think you should be able to drop afterwards, but I'm also not sure about that. So that might be a consideration. Now, shall we move on to the next game?
okay.
And it's one you took part in, 3-0
Yeah.
against Herring Swords Camry. And I can tell you, Herring Sword wasn't too happy about the game.
I know. I would say if you look at the pickup rolls, that's and you compare the pickup rolls on his team and my team in that game. That says it all of the game.
Pickup rolls, let's see.
Yeah.
2 successes and 7 failures, and what's it on your side? 4 successes. Yeah, well, I watched a bit of the game. I think he, in his drive, felt the pickups and never got going. You then stole the ball. And then when he tried to force something in the second half, everything went wrong. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Double
I think
skulls,
he
triple
failed.
skulls, scatters that go right back into the hand of a beast.
Yeah. And I rolled good die as well.
Yeah,
But he did an interception.
could be. Yeah, he has 1 intercept. So how much did you pay Nuffle there for the luck?
I think I sacrificed my dwarf team in champs just before it. I had a super unlucky game just before it.
Well, I think we can agree on that sacrificing dwarfs is generally a good idea.
Yeah.
So, because I like Herring Sword, I'm not going to go any further into the game. I think he remembers the game well enough. Let's take a look at your team here instead.
Okay.
And we spot quite a lot of agility.
Yep.
And the most interesting one is probably agility on the block Chaos Warrior. And I think you have a very specific build in mind here.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a double for a Leap Chaos Warrior, but if I don't get that, people, I mean, it's been questioned the agility up on Chaos Warrior, but with agility 4, I mean, get 2 heads. All of a sudden, you can dodge into 2 tackle zones on a 2+ with a strength 4 piece. That is
so
not,
you're not going very long legs first if you don't roll a double.
No, I think if I roll a normal, I'm gonna take guard on it. Because the
a mobile guard is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely an interesting chaos team, not the standard killing teams we usually see, but you still take quite a punch there.
Yeah, well, the thing is, mathematically, block does more than mighty blow.
Yeah, that's true.
And like the amount of blocks does more than mighty blow as well.
Yeah, I'm also not a big fan of Mighty Blow, but on Chaos, only a single Mighty Blow is.
But I mean, I rolled agility up on I also lost one of those. Beastmen
on a great play by Organized Crisis. That one was amazing.
That goblin throw. But I mean, and then I rolled doubles on Beastman, and I'm not gonna skip an early double dodge for a mighty blow or something.
It's understandable.
And I mean, if I wouldn't have rolled all those agility up, I probably would have had 2 mighty blow on the team right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Swaho's still shouting at you from somewhere at his home for this build, but
But
I
still,
like it.
I'm like so close to going to the playoffs with this team, and yeah, and he's not, right.
What do you mean?
I, I I mean, if I win my next game with his team, I'm going to the playoff. Swaho is also playing Chaos, right?
No, he is
No, he's playing Dark
playing
Elves.
Dark Elves.
Yeah.
Pirate TJ is asking how many normals did you actually roll here?
Yeah, you can see all the normals I rolled. I lost a Block Warrior and I lost Sure Hands, but so
Yeah,
eight
he
normals.
likes to roll agility. Let's just keep it at that. Those are actually the only two doubles you rolled, yes? The dodge on
Yeah.
the Chaos Warrior. So it's not too bad. Let's just say it like this. And then on the other side we have what's left of Herringsworth's team after he first met McNorton last game. Week 11, where he lost Tomb Guardian, maybe even two. I'm not 100% sure. He definitely lost a lot of development there, but it's still a really good looking Camry team.
Yeah, I mean, he's missing a bit Mighty Blow and Guard, as you said.
Yeah, well, that happens when you lose to Tomb Guardians. They do take a while to develop.
Yeah.
But he has Patala Swift, who is killing everything in sight. Russell Crowe is also a really good ball carrier in the making.
Yeah, the Blodge Thrower. Just need 2 agility ups on it as well.
Yeah, of course, because everything needs agility ups, in your opinion, yes.
I think in our clan, we all the teams take an agility up.
Yeah, I couldn't. I took an old team instead of a fresh one, and it was tempting getting an agility for Skink, but with my luck, he would have just died in the first game, and then I would have been sad.
Snake Eyed, I go for it for a touchdown and die.
But we are here for Herringsword's team.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned if he levels one of his other skeletons, he's maybe planning to get rid of his Fend 30-player skeleton, which I can agree with. I can also agree with keeping him around. That's basically personal preference. If you like to have 2 dirty players, a dirty player with Fend certainly isn't bad, but it's also not great either.
I think I mean, he has 9 to 12 players on a Camry team. I would probably go 13 or 14 and have 2 or 3 dirty players.
Well, he could get another skeleton if he so wants to.
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't need to buy it now, but he probably lost players as well. So
yeah, I think in the long term we are looking at getting 2 more skeletons. But for now, with the team value he has, I think it's fine. Maybe get 1 more skeleton, but this team is looking really decent.
yeah.
I mean, with losing the 2 developed Tomb Guardians, he took quite a hit, but
he also lost like 100k team value, didn't he? Well, 70 or something, 60.
Yeah, that happens when you lose developed players. Yeah, at least he had the money to replace it, so it's not as bad. And, well, I think that's it for Herringsworth's team. Who do we have next? The Dazzle Walkstars did lose against the Angels of Lilith 0-2. So let's start with the Angels of Lilith, who again didn't take their level ups, because they never do. They just want to annoy me. I'm sure that's the only reason. Not much changed here. Archangel Michael is only MNG'd, so he's fine. But, well, it's still a vampire team with 3 vampires now, because I think he fired the Leap Vampire.
Yeah, he got the armor bust, right?
Yes, he was armor busted. So either he lost him in-game or he fired him. Both is good for you.
Yeah, I'm still wondering why he hasn't gone 4 rerolls, because you really need 4 rerolls with vampires.
Because I think he never had money.
Yeah, but I would go 4 rerolls before like getting a new vampire.
Yeah, I'm not a big vampire coach, so my insight here isn't as great, but I can see why.
Neither am I, but yeah, I would start a team with 4 rerolls anyway. So
Yeah, it's also been the first season of Vampires for Andy90, or as he's known, Donkey Dragon, and for example, he's also not making much use out of Hypnogaze, which is a very useful tool. He might not be using to his full potential yet. So it's also been a season to learn for Donkey Dragon here.
it's a hard team to play, definitely.
Yeah, and overall he hasn't done too bad for himself. So I'm not gonna say anything bad about Donkey Dragon here. If I was a worse man, I would point to the failed score because of Bloodlust, but we are nice. We wouldn't do that, would we?
No, never.
Well, then, Organized Crisis. I think you're also around and you will be playing in a few minutes. Not too far away. Let's take a look at your team. And I mean,
Oh, look at that! He bought a lineman.
yeah, what? He actually bought a lineman. I think the loner stole the MVP and that's why he bought him.
Yeah.
I
Have
never
you seen the?
I never thought I would see the day when Organized Crisis buys a lineman.
Have you seen the name of that? The last blitz there.
Ooh, that's my name. I like that name. You have a good naming scheme, unlike Radster. Radster's naming schemes are terrible.
No, they're great.
I guess it all depends on the perspective. But Nakboom also took another armor bust. He's getting closer and closer to being armor value 1.
Yeah, he just need a strength bust now. Then he's basically a snotling, right?
Well, this mobile snotling. Well, yes, it's a very expensive snotling. Let's put it at that. And well, Organized Crisis did pick up quite a few level ups here with quite a few stat ups. I'm still curious to see if he's going to take this team into another season or if he's going to re-roll. I mean, now that he has a great blitzer like that, he basically has to keep the team, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he can play his throwing game with the thrower there.
Yeah, but you would play a throwing game with everything.
Yeah, that's me. I like them passing, them passes.
Yeah. And also a questionable decision with the diving tackle this early. I like it on Black Orcs later on, but as a first skill, Black Orcs are really slow to develop anyway. It's an interesting choice. And, well, he has every blitzer without any injuries. And I think that's like the first time this season he had 4 blitzers without an injury.
Yeah, looking good there.
I mean, basically he has to get rid of the troll and the goblin, get a few more linemen, and he has a decent team.
Yeah, replace that goblin for 2 linemen, and then he's kind of good to go, I guess.
Yeah, I probably would also get rid of a niggle troll.
Yeah, same here. But
I'm not a big fan of the troll in the orc lineup, but if he likes it, he might as well keep it. Organized Crisis is saying he will never get rid of Nakboom. he will wait until he's armor value 1 and then he will die horribly. And
I
he also
think
says he's a big fan of trolls. So the big question, are you planning to keep this team for another season, Organized Crisis? Because it's coming along actually pretty well now.
yeah,
I mean,
yes,
he still
the
didn't
backups
manage.
are leveled.
He still didn't manage to pick up another reroll since the start. But it has decent development, and yeah, Organized Crisis is saying he's undecided, which is understandable. I'm as well. But you might just try to take them into the Devastation and see if you can pick up a bit more SPP and maybe even get the third reroll finally. But it's your decision. And again, great naming there of your Blitzer. I like it a lot.
Are you sure that's not a random orc name then?
I'm pretty sure there's not such a random orc name around. Would be cool if the lineman would be named like that. So, how much did Swaho bribe you to take the lineman? Organized Crisis. Because I know you have been trying to never get a lineman, but now there is one.
I think the problem Organized had is money.
Yeah, money was
As
a
I
big
said,
problem all season long, and injuries. He never got to get a third reroll. He always had to replace stuff, which led to not getting much development. Yeah, and Organized Crisis is just saying he got him to shut Swaho up, which is, well, I like when Swaho gets shut up. Who doesn't? But that's another case. Well, I think we can move on to the next game, which was the bye week for Pamperford Parakeets. They picked up a win, which is hard enough for Anderson this season. And let's take a quick look at his team, because his team is looking really good. Do you see the Chorf team?
Yeah, that's a good-looking short team.
Yeah, and a strength 4 blocker, strength 5 bull center. I mean, a niggle top goblin with agility 4, but as a ball carrier he's still useful because you don't want to get him to get punched anyway. So I can definitely see why he's keeping him around. Well, as long as you don't have a better ball carrier. I also would assume Anderson is taking his team into the Devastationals. For Chorfs, there's usually not too much to fear. They are usually the ones who get feared. And he might even pick up a little more development on the way. Because Baxter's close to leveling. Smithy could get his first level finally. Yeah, it's a good looking team. Yeah, it's a shame that Yacinde is not available for the Swiss, and would have made it a lot more interesting, because the bye week certainly was weird.
Yeah,
I think you
totally
were
agree
one
with
of the benefactors of the bye week.
Yes, I got the bye week against Jacind.
I mean, he wasn't really in a playoff position anymore, but he still has a really, well, might as well show the team while we're talking about him, because his team is looking really good. He basically rolled as much stat ups and doubles as he rolled normals.
But I'm looking at the leaderboard now. If Jacinda would have won his last 4 games, he would have been top position.
Yeah, I mean, good to say, if he won all his games, or 4 more games, sure, there is a possibility, but
But if he just would have played all the 4 Swiss games and won them, he would have been top position in the.
yeah, but that's easy to say, because
Yeah, but I mean, he still had a chance. Is what I mean.
yeah, well, there were a lot of people who technically still had a chance, but Yacinde basically lost against all the other playoff, who were in a position to get to the playoffs. So yeah, it would definitely been more interesting with him around.
Yep.
And I think now we have covered all the teams. The playoff spot will be coming down in Radsta's game this week. I think you were planning to play it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. We're have it kind of open as I'm playing tabletop, and he couldn't play too late. So we either play tomorrow or Monday.
And the situation basically is, if Radsta wins the game by any margin, he will take the playoff spot. And if he draws or loses, Kichirus will take the playoff spot.
Yes, I would win on touchdown difference.
So then let's make a last round of predictions here. The first game is already in there with a win for Kichi against Pyrotice. It was a close one, but I also think it was a deserved win. He got a little lucky there, but he played it well enough.
Yeah.
Then we have Eurogame against the Highland Avengers. Who are you predicting to win here?
Yeah, I'm obviously predicting McNaughton, so I do the upset. No, no, I have to believe myself, of course. I see it will probably hurt playing against him, but I think I will win.
I mean, we never counted you out, Pyroteacher. We always said you would be up there in 4th or 3rd position. But we also didn't know Yacinde would be dropping, so we were pretty close there. I'll take that one as a win. Because Pyroteacher is pointing out at least he's finishing ahead of our season prediction.
So am I. I think you said I would end up 5th or 6th place or something.
Yeah, but who would have expected your performance, to be honest? I think when we had you around the first time, you yourself didn't predict it, so...
Nah, same here. Yeah, exactly.
Well, now my prediction for the game, and surprisingly, I'm going to say you will take the win. I think you do have the potential in the players to take it, and yeah, well, I believe in you.
Thank you.
I don't think you will make it far in the playoffs afterwards, but I believe in you to get there.
But I'll be scouting the playoffs, so I'm gonna play the 3rd place in Big O, and that's currently like 1350 team value Skaven.
Currently is the big word here.
Yeah, but they have 1 game left, so.
Yeah, but 5 teams could end up in that spot, so.
Yeah, you have the 4th place.
Yeah, I have the 4th place. I'm also hoping to get the Reds because the alternatives are Chorfs and Chaos. High team value. You don't want to face them.
Nope.
But let's get back to the topic. The Gobble bonus against the Pempelford Parakeets, Anderson.
I'm gonna give that to Anderson.
Well,
his team looks so nasty against goblins, but
I said it often that Pempelford Parakeets are a good-looking team, and then they just end up losing and doing no damage. And I'm actually rooting for the Gobble bonus, so they might still have a chance there at the Stunty Cup. So I'm gonna say they take it.
I'm also rooting for the Goblin bonus, but I think the Parakeets is gonna win.
Yeah, I'm making the easy predictions.
The double prediction, you know.
And then in a few minutes, or maybe even live right now, the Dazzle Waxters against United Scarab Chimerates.
I'm gonna give that to Harry Sword. He's a good player, and Camry is a good team to play against Orcs.
Yeah, and I think he also has a little bit of frustration built up.
Yep.
And he will let it out on the Orcs and come back and get ready for the devastation.
Yep.
And then
the last game is
will
gonna be
probably be a win for the Angels of Lilith.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. And yeah, well, playoff predictions have been made. We are both rooting for you. Or maybe you are rooting for losing. I'm still not sure about that one. But
No, I'm going for all in for the win.
I'll be rooting for you. So, I mean, I also would say Keiji deserves it if he manages to do so, but you have a way more fun team.
I completely agree with that. It's all in the fun for the teams.
Yeah, because if Keiji makes it to playoffs, he will just be keeping his werewolf back even further, basically in his own touchdown zone, and that's not fun to watch.
And have 4 zombies in the front.
Yeah, I think that's it. Radsta, thank you very much for joining me here.
Thank you for having me.
And good luck to you guys in your last week's game. And
Thank you.
see you next week for the last time. Organized Crisis is asking if there's any Radsta fan club. I think not yet, but you might as well join one. So, YouTube, see ya next week. Bye.